On the day when it was found out that I was pregnant, something unexpected happened to Ryan's childhood sweetheart. Childhood sweetheart Dana. We can have another child if this one is gone, but Nadia will die without your blood. Childhood sweetheart, I promise you that when you wake up, I will definitely hold a grand wedding for you. When I opened my eyes again, I didn't want the wedding anymore, nor did I want Ryan. 01 in the hospital ward. I couldn't feel any pain at all. When I opened my eyes, I was already lying on the hospital bed. My hand subconsciously touched my lower abdomen, and the slightly bulging belly had flattened. I propped myself up and sat up, took out my phone, and clicked on the WeChat of the lawyer. Childhood sweetheart lawyer Trip, hello. Please help me draft a divorce agreement as soon as possible. Childhood sweetheart, my specific requirements are as follows. Childhood sweetheart, after I sent all my requests to the lawyer, the door was pushed open. It was Ryan, and he was still carrying a thermos box in his hand. Childhood sweetheart Dana, you're awake? Childhood sweetheart, seeing that I was awake, he quickly walked over. He quickly put down the things in his hand. Childhood sweetheart, you just had an operation. The doctor said you need to lie still. Lie down quickly. Childhood sweetheart, he forced me to lie down. While he was busily tucking in the corners of the quilt for me in a flustered manner, he was also chattering on the side. Childhood sweetheart, the doctor said that a miscarriage is equivalent to confinement. You can't catch a bit of cold, or you'll have aches and pains when you get old. Ryan was usually a man of few words. It was rare to see him say so much at once. Looking at the light above my head, I didn't look at him and didn't say a word. Seeing this, Ryan asked, Childhood sweetheart, are you tired? Then close your eyes and go to sleep. You'll feel much better when you wake up. By the way, would you like something to eat? I asked Aunt Lou to cook the Crucian carp soup that you usually like best. Childhood sweetheart, hearing about the Crucian carp soup, I subconsciously looked at him. Ryan thought I wanted to drink it and happily opened the thermos box and scooped out a small bowl. Like showing off a treasure, he brought it to me. Childhood sweetheart, it smells so good. Have a taste quickly. He scooped up a bit with a spoon and brought it to my mouth. I didn't open my mouth. He frowned in confusion. Childhood sweetheart, what's the matter? Childhood sweetheart, is it too hot? Shall I blow on it? Ryan blew on it and then brought it to my mouth again. Looking at me expectantly, he was now acting like a model husband, which I had once dreamed of but couldn't get. Now, I didn't feel anything anymore. I calmly said, Childhood sweetheart, I'm allergic to fish and shrimp. Childhood sweetheart, you're allergic to fish and shrimp? How is that possible? I clearly remember. Ryan got stuck halfway through his words. He probably really remembered it at this moment. It was always his childhood sweetheart Nadia who liked to drink Crucian carp soup and eat lobsters. Every time, as long as Nadia was there, the dining table was full of seafood. I had no choice but to eat rice. Nadia knew clearly that I couldn't eat it, but deliberately provoked me in front of Ryan. Childhood sweetheart sister Dana, why don't you eat the dishes? Aren't there any of these delicious foods to your liking? Childhood sweetheart, or are you angry that I'm disturbing the world of just you and Ryan here, so you're too angry to eat? Childhood sweetheart Ryan, should I leave then? Childhood sweetheart, at first, I explained, Childhood sweetheart, I'm allergic to fish and shrimp. There's really someone allergic to seafood? Childhood sweetheart Nadia covered her mouth pretending to be surprised and looked at me like I was a monster. She then looked at Ryan pitifully. Childhood sweetheart Ryan, what should we do? Sister Dana is actually allergic to the things I like. Childhood sweetheart sister Dana, she couldn't. Nadia didn't finish the second half of her sentence, but Ryan already understood what she meant. He thought I was deliberately targeting Nadia. Frowning, he looked at me very unhappily. Childhood sweetheart, why didn't I hear you say you were allergic to fish and shrimp before? Why only now? Childhood sweetheart before. Childhood sweetheart sister Dana, to be honest, I think your allergy is fake. The main thing is that you don't eat much. You should eat more today. I guarantee that you'll get over the allergy in the future. Nadia interrupted me and placed a full bowl of seafood soup in front of me. My whole body was resisting. Ryan took a sip of coffee beside me and then quietly looked at me with his eyelids lifted. Nadia took the opportunity to provoke me. Childhood sweetheart, it's just a bowl of soup. Are you so afraid of this and that? Childhood sweetheart, as Ryan's wife in the future, there will be many banquets and wine parties. Sister Dana, if you're so timid and look like this, it won't be just your face that will be lost when others see you. Childhood sweetheart, in order to be a good wife to Ryan, I drank that bowl of seafood soup. That night, I almost lost my life. Childhood sweetheart, I'm sorry. I forgot. Childhood sweetheart Ryan probably remembered that incident and quickly put away the fish soup. Childhood sweetheart, what would you like to eat? I'll ask Aunt Lou to make it right away. Childhood sweetheart, I turned sideways and didn't say another word to him. Ryan stood behind me and looked at me, a hint of uneasy panic flashing in his eyes. He probably didn't even know what he was panicking about exactly. Ryan didn't want to leave. He self-righteously brought up something that he thought I would be interested in. I've already arranged for the wedding again. What do you think of the 10th of next month? Childhood sweetheart, 3 years ago, Ryan and I got married and got our marriage certificate. At that time, we didn't hold a wedding because Ryan's grandfather suddenly passed away. After the mourning period, Ryan was busy with his career. The wedding was postponed again and again. I know it's a bit rushed, but don't worry, Dana. I promise to give you a grand wedding and I won't let you down. Ryan continued talking, trying to get me to respond to him with a word or two, but listening to his words was like listening to a lullaby to me, and I fell asleep. When I woke up the next day, Ryan was gone from the room, but instead, Nadia was there. 02 Nadia was wearing a hospital gown. The loose hospital gown made her look petite and slender. Coupled with the deliberately made-up haggard makeup, anyone who saw her would surely feel pity for her. Dana, I really didn't expect you to be so tough. You didn't even die from this. Without Ryan around, Nadia didn't pretend anymore. I wasn't surprised at all by Nadia's change and calmly asked her, "What do you mean?" Seeing my confused look, Nadia sneered. "Dana, are you really stupid or just pretending to be stupid? Don't you really think that I really needed your blood to save my life?" I vaguely guessed something. But I was still cooperating with Nadia. "What exactly do you want to say?" "TSK, I didn't expect you to be really stupid. How can someone as stupid as you be worthy of Ryan? To tell you the truth, I didn't actually fall from the mountain, nor did I lose too much blood, and I didn't need your blood at all." I pretended to be shocked. "What are you talking about? But the doctor clearly said that you lost too much blood and were dying." "Huh? Do you know there's something called money in the world? Money can make the devil push the millstone, and of course, it can buy off everything. So, you're actually fine. You did all this just to get rid of the child in my belly?" When the child was mentioned, my tears uncontrollably burst out. Seeing me cry, Nadia had a sense of winning completely. "That's right. I will never allow any woman other than me to give birth to Ryan's child." As she said that, she leaned her face close to mine. "If you want to give birth to Ryan's child, wait for the next life." I used all my strength and slapped Nadia. She staggered and fell to the ground along the force. Then she covered her face. "Sister Dana, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I'm the one who made you lose your child. If you want to hit me, just hit me to death." Just as she had this intention, Ryan pushed the door open and rushed in with big strides. "Dana, what are you doing?" Ryan grabbed my hand. His eyes were wide open as he stared at me. "If you have any resentment, vent it on me. Don't make things difficult for her." Nadia grabbed Ryan's trouser leg with tears in her eyes. "Ryan, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have gone climbing, shouldn't have had an accident, shouldn't have lost too much blood. Otherwise, Sister Dana wouldn't have had to take away the child to save me. Woo-woo. Ryan, just let Sister Dana beat me to death." Ryan quickly helped Nadia up from the ground. "You don't need to blame yourself for this." Nadia was crying so hard that she could hardly catch her breath. "Ryan. But Sister Dana's child is gone because of me." In order to reduce Nadia's sense of guilt, Ryan said, "Actually, it's because your sister Dana and I are preparing for the wedding. I'm afraid that when your sister Dana has a big belly by then, it won't look good in the wedding dress, so we took the child away. Anyway, we'll have children in the future." When the child was mentioned, Ryan might have felt guilty. He didn't dare to look at me at all. "Dana, right?" I didn't say a word. Nadia took advantage of Ryan's inattention and provocatively smiled at me. In an instant, she pretended to be weak and fainted in Ryan's arms. Ryan picked up Nadia in a panic and went to find the doctor. I opened the window to let in some fresh air. Turned around and picked up the phone on the cabinet and paused the recording on it, packed it up and sent it to the lawyer. When Ryan returned to the ward, I had already left and gone home. "You came back without telling me. Do you know that I've been looking for you like crazy?" When Ryan came back and saw me lying on the bed safe and sound, he couldn't suppress his resentment. "And is your phone just for decoration? I called you over a dozen times and you didn't answer. Don't you know that I'll be worried about you?" I calmly looked at him. He often disappeared without a trace and didn't answer the phone. Why couldn't he stand it when it was his turn now? I didn't say anything and picked up the eye mask beside me and put it on. Ryan suddenly yanked off my eye mask forcefully. "Dana, what exactly are you dissatisfied with? Just tell me directly. Do you have to treat me like this?" I was forced to open my eyes and look at him. "I know you're sad because the child is gone, but the child isn't yours alone. I'm also sad that the child is gone. But have I said anything?" Ryan seemed to have convinced himself while coaxing others, and his eyes were a bit red. I still looked at him very calmly. Seeing that I didn't show any emotion, Ryan suddenly felt a bit tight in his heart. It seemed that as long as he let go a little, something would slip away from his hands. He got down on one knee, took my hand, and kissed it. "Childhood sweetheart Dana, we're still young. We'll have children in the future. By the way, I'll tell you some good news. I've already chosen the address of the wedding hotel. It's the Shangri-La Hotel that you wanted to go to before. Childhood sweetheart also, I've already ordered the wedding dress. The style is the one you bookmarked. I'll have it delivered to our home tomorrow for you to try on. Childhood sweetheart, I thought Ryan didn't know anything. In fact, he knew everything. Ryan looked at me expectantly. I calmly pulled my hand back. Childhood sweetheart, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. I turned over and faced the other way. Ryan looked at me and was stunned on the spot. My being so quiet made him a bit at a loss. His uneasiness was only temporary. Soon, a call from Nadia called him away. That night, Ryan didn't come back. But the custom-made wedding dress was delivered early the next morning. I just took one look and asked someone to burn it. When it was burning vigorously, Ryan came back. Childhood sweetheart Dana, what are you burning? Childhood sweetheart, I didn't answer him. Aunt Lou beside me answered for me. Childhood sweetheart sir, it's the wedding dress. Childhood sweetheart, the wedding dress. Dana, you burned the wedding dress? Childhood sweetheart, Ryan's voice involuntarily rose a lot. The atmosphere was way meow, and Aunt Lou walked away automatically. I watched the flames growing bigger and bigger. The anger that had been building up in Ryan's heart was also growing more and more. He grabbed my arm and forced me to look at him. Childhood sweetheart Dana, do you know that I spent 10 million on this dress and asked a French team to rush to make it overnight? Childhood sweetheart, why did you burn it? Give me a reason. Childhood sweetheart Ryan stared at me tightly, afraid of missing any expression on my face. A reason? Where should I start? I didn't want to think about the reasons that had been breaking me down bit by bit. I directly replied about the problem of the wedding dress itself. Childhood sweetheart, there's a flaw in the dress. Childhood sweetheart, because I was the original designer of this wedding dress. When I designed this wedding dress, I was only 18 years old. At that time, I naively thought that I could become a wedding dress designer and marry the man I loved in the future wearing the wedding dress I designed. Later, as Ryan postponed the wedding again and again, the original design was also left in my collection folder gathering dust. When I saw this wedding dress actually in front of me today, I felt very calm. Childhood sweetheart, oh, so that's how it is. Childhood sweetheart, hearing what I said, the tense string in Ryan's heart loosened. He seemed to be afraid that I would say something that he couldn't accept. Childhood sweetheart, it's okay. I'll ask them to make it again. As long as they work overtime, they will definitely finish making the wedding dress before our wedding. These 2 days, hearing him always talking about the wedding, I couldn't help asking, Childhood sweetheart, are you looking forward to this wedding very much? Childhood sweetheart, seeing that I took the initiative to talk to him, Ryan smiled. Childhood sweetheart, of course I'm looking forward to it. Dana, aren't you looking forward to it? Childhood sweetheart, am I looking forward to it? Thinking about what I was going to do at the wedding, I nodded. Childhood sweetheart, I'm looking forward to it. Seeing me nod, Ryan became even more excited. Childhood sweetheart Dana, after the wedding, I'll take you to the Maldives for our honeymoon. And Iceland, and, before Ryan could finish his words, Nadia called him again. On the phone, Nadia was crying and said, Ryan, our baby is dead. Woo-woo. Hearing Nadia's crying, Ryan's heart tightened. What? The baby is dead? 0 for the baby, it was the dog that Nadia and Ryan raised together. Yes. I just fed it the dog food that Sister Dana sent last time and then it suddenly died. Hearing my name, Ryan suddenly looked at me. Dana, what did you put in the dog food? He grabbed my hand forcefully and dragged me out of the door into Nadia's house. As soon as I appeared, Nadia rushed towards me. Sister Dana, if you have a grudge against me you can come at me directly. Why did you poison my baby to death? Ryan hugged her to prevent Nadia's slap from landing on my face. Dana, tell me clearly. Did you kill the baby? Meeting Ryan's questioning eyes, I replied to him, no. You're lying. Nadia pointed at me, hysterically. The baby died because it ate the dog food you bought. You're a dog killer. Compared to the agitated Nadia. I calmly glanced at the lifeless puppy on the ground. If it were still alive, it should be quite cute. Ryan, look, she's silent now. She's admitted it. Seeing that I didn't speak, Nadia continued shouting, grabbing Ryan and kept shouting, Ryan, our baby died so pitifully. You have to avenge our baby. Between me and Nadia, Ryan had always favored Nadia. He habitually stood by her side and judged me. Dana, why did you do this? What did the dog do to offend you? Or are you so vicious that you can't even tolerate a dog? The man who was looking forward to holding a wedding with me just a second ago. The next second, he cursed me for being vicious. I took a deep breath and took out the recording that I had originally planned to play at the wedding. Ryan, I hope you can still regard your dog as your own after listening to this. The recording was just a dozen seconds long. But for Ryan, it seemed as long as dozens of centuries. He turned to look at Nadia, in disbelief. Nadia, is all this true? Nadia never expected that I would record it. She was stunned at first and then immediately denied it. No, Ryan. These words weren't said by me. Ryan just stared at her blankly. Nadia panicked. Ryan, you have to believe me. You saw how bloody I was that day. How could it be fake? The recording in Dana's hand is fake. It's artificially synthesized. She just wants to take revenge on me. After hearing Nadia's words, Ryan looked at me again. I gave him a cold smile and then left without looking back. I didn't need to prove whether the recording was true or false. As long as Ryan was willing, he could figure out whether it was true or false by himself. However, from today on, Nadia would never have 100% of Ryan's trust. In this way, Nadia would continue to go crazy. Then I could continue with my plan. When I got home, lawyer Tripp was already waiting for me. I left the signed divorce agreement and took away all my things. For the things that couldn't be taken away, I asked someone to take them to the garbage dump for disposal. When Ryan got rid of Nadia and came back, Dana was already gone from home. What was left for him was a divorce agreement. Aunt Lou beside him simply described to him what Dana had done after she came back. Hearing this, Ryan gritted his teeth and started to call Dana. But he had been blocked. His messages were also rejected. Aunt Lou, give me your phone. Ryan got Aunt Lou's phone and dialed Dana's number again. This time, the call was answered, and Dana's cold voice came through. Hello? Aunt Lou. The moment Dana's voice came out, Ryan choked up a bit. It's me. Where are you? The moment I recognized Ryan's voice, I immediately hung up the phone and blocked Aunt Lou's phone number as well. I turned over and continued to sleep. After resting for a few days, my body gradually recovered. At the same time, Ryan's assistant also sent me the latest news about Ryan. Nadia was right about one thing. Money can buy everything. Based on the news sent by Ryan's assistant, I estimated that the time was almost right. I clicked on the surveillance camera at home. This was the pinhole camera that I installed when I left. The moment the surveillance screen opened, as expected, I saw Nadia standing in front of Ryan in a mess. Ryan, can you listen to my explanation? 05 Ryan, don't ignore me. I can explain. Seeing that Ryan ignored her, Nadia quickly stepped forward and grabbed him. But Ryan pushed Nadia away as if he had been touched by something dirty. Nadia fell to the ground and burst into tears immediately. Ryan, you pushed me? You actually pushed me. Nadia's crying was shrill. For the first time, Ryan looked at Nadia with disgust. Enough. Shut up. Nia had never seen Ryan so angry before and was so scared that she immediately shut her mouth. Suddenly, it was quiet all around. Ryan grabbed a stack of documents on the table and threw them at Nadia's face. You kept asking me to believe you. Look for yourself. What have you done? Nadia quickly went to pick up the documents on the ground. Every time she read a page, her face turned a bit paler. How? How is this possible? I clearly asked someone to destroy them. Nadia thought she had bought off everything, but she underestimated the greed of human nature. The doctor who helped her fabricate things didn't destroy the evidence in order to get more money from Nadia. Under my dual coercion and inducement, the doctor confessed everything. But I didn't directly take the evidence and throw it in Ryan's face. What I was waiting for was for Ryan to investigate by himself. I wasn't betting on how much conscience he had towards me, but on his personality. He had always been conceited and hated being deceived the most. Sure enough, he didn't let me down. Ryan's eyes were bloodshot, and he gritted his teeth. Nadia, you've been by my side for so many years. You should know best that I hate being deceived the most. You're simply courting death. The furious Ryan grabbed Nadia's neck. I originally thought that Nadia, as his childhood sweetheart, was so special in his heart. But it turned out to be just SOSO. Nadia was scared silly by Ryan's violent look. Ryan, I did all this because I love you. Ryan sneered. Love me? Love me so you forced me to abort my own child. Is this your so-called love? Nadia shook her head frantically. No, Ryan. Listen to me. That stupid woman Dana doesn't deserve you at all. She doesn't deserve to give birth to your child. And, don't you hate her? I'm just helping you get rid of her. Ryan was stunned. When did I say I hated her? Ryan, if you don't hate her, then why did you force her to eat seafood? If you don't hate her, why did you always embarrass her in front of everyone? If you don't hate her, why did you come whenever I called you in the middle of the night? Nadia's words brought back Ryan's memories. Perhaps it was the hard-to-accept truth, or perhaps he felt guilty. He shouted at Nadia, shut up. Nadia didn't shut up. Instead, she continued naively, Ryan, actually you don't like Dana at all. You like me, right? Touching Nadia's longing eyes, Ryan seemed to have touched something disgusting and suddenly let go of his hand. Get out. I never want to see you again. Nadia didn't want to leave, but the security guards who came over drove her out. Without Ryan's order, Nadia could never enter Ryan's house again. Nadia didn't give up and wandered outside Ryan's villa. It wasn't until she saw the location I posted on Moments that she turned around and left angrily. Yes, I blocked everyone related to Ryan, but I didn't block Nadia. After putting down my phone, I got up and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window. At this moment, it was snowing on the top of the mountain, and the scenery was beautiful. If Nadia came, she would be lucky. 06 Dana. Come out. At this time, I was building a snowman on the back mountain. Nadia came up and kicked the snowman I had just built to the ground. I wasn't angry. Instead, I pointed at the snowman with a smile and said to Nadia, "Do you know who I built the snowman to look like?" Nadia snorted coldly, "It's none of my business." "It's you. It's a pity that you kicked its head off with one kick. What a miserable way to die." I pretended to be scared. "Are you cursing me again?" Nadia angrily stepped forward, wanting to hit me. In the past, seeing that Ryan attached importance to her, I would naturally be polite and give in a bit. But today, I wouldn't let her do whatever she wanted anymore. The pampered young lady had nothing but a bluffing air. The hand she raised was easily grasped by me, and I took the opportunity to slap her back. Nadia covered her face, in disbelief. "How dare you hit me?" I slapped her again. Suddenly, I found that slapping people was addictive. After slapping her 4 or 5 times in a row, Nadia looked at me much more docilely. She subconsciously took a few steps back. "Dana, I warn you. Don't come over." I took out a handkerchief and wiped the hand that had slapped Nadia. "Miss Nadia, you came to me in such a hurry. Do you have something to tell me?" Reminded by me, Nadia remembered the purpose of her coming to me. Her eyes looking at me became vicious. "Dana, were you the one playing tricks behind the scenes? Do you think that by driving a wedge between me and Ryan, Ryan will love you?" In the past, I would surely have been sleepless all night because of Nadia's words like, "Do you think Ryan married you because he loves you?" Now, I just think his love is disgusting. Seeing that I was silent, Nadia thought she had grasped my emotions again. "Dana, so what if you put all the evidence in front of Ryan? He's angry and annoyed, but that's all because he hates being deceived. He's never been like that because of you. Ryan doesn't care about you, nor does he care about the child in your belly." Nadia looked at me smugly. According to her expectation, I would be angry and out of control after hearing these words. But I didn't. I just listened quietly. When she was at her most smug, I asked her calmly, "Nadia, has Ryan ever said that he loves you?" Nadia seemed to have heard the biggest joke and shouted at me, "Of course Ryan loves me." Then she tried hard to recall the signs of Ryan's love for her. One by one, she clearly felt Ryan's liking for her. But when she thought about it carefully, it was like bubbles. Nadia was immersed in those empty bubbles, murmuring to herself, "Ryan, he loves me. Yes, he definitely loves me." I couldn't help sneering as I stood aside. "Ryan doesn't love anyone. He only loves himself. No. It's all because of your appearance. As long as you're gone, Ryan will love only me." Nadia suddenly looked up at me. Her red eyes were full of murderous intent. "Dana, as long as you die here today, Ryan will be mine alone from now on." Nadia probably thought of the scene after my death and couldn't help laughing crazily. Looking at Nadia's distorted expression, I knew that I had already succeeded in provoking her. As Nadia approached me step by step, I backed away little by little. I also had to pretend to be very scared. "Nadia, what are you going to do?" "Don't come over. There's a cliff behind me. 07, a cliff is good. Then it has nothing to do with me if you fall down and die." Nadia suddenly rushed towards me. I was pushed down to the ground by Nadia and Nadia immediately sat on top of me and put her hands around my neck. "Dana, if it weren't for you, I would have been the one who married Ryan. All the misfortunes in my life are caused by you. Go to hell." She used all her strength, and I could hardly breathe. My vision started to turn black. "Dana." At this time, Ryan arrived. Seeing this scene in front of him, he forcefully pushed Nadia to the ground and picked me up. "Dana. Wake up." After being shaken by Ryan a few times, I opened my eyes with effort and said weakly to him, "Ryan, you're finally here." "Dana, I'm here. Don't be afraid." As he said that, Ryan was about to help me leave. "Ryan. Ryan." Nadia, who had been pushed away, didn't expect Ryan to show up suddenly. Of course she didn't expect it. On Nadia's way to find me, I deliberately took Ryan out of the blacklist. So he could naturally see the location I posted and find his way here. "Nadia, let go." Ryan looked at Nadia angrily. Nadia hugged Ryan tightly from behind. "Ryan, I won't let go. Ryan, do you know that I've liked you since I was a child? I've liked you for so many years. Don't you have any feelings at all?" Nadia pleaded with a cry in her voice. Ryan looked very irritable. Nadia continued, "Ryan, I know that when you married Dana, it was because Grandpa Ryan forced you to. Now that Grandpa Ryan is gone, you don't have to endure this painful marriage anymore." Ryan broke free from Nadia's hands, turned around and looked at her. "Who said I was forced to marry Dana?" His denial made Nadia a bit at a loss. "I clearly remember that on the night before you got married 3 years ago, you were drunk, and you told me that Grandpa Ryan forced you." The past was brought up again. Ryan subconsciously glanced at me. "I said those words out of anger because I thought Dana didn't marry me willingly. Dana, I've read the diary you left at home. Only then did I realize how terribly wrong I've been all these years and that I misunderstood you for liking someone else." It turns out that the person you had a secret crush on in high school was me. The diary? When I was at school, I liked to keep a diary, and in it, I wrote down all my love for Ryan. Unexpectedly, something that I had almost forgotten was dug out by Ryan. It's okay. I pretended to understand him very well. It's not too late for you to know it now. Dana, I swear that I'll love you and protect you well in the future. I won't let you suffer any grievance. Let's not get divorced, okay? I pretended to be shy and didn't respond. However, the eye contact between the two of us was extremely sting in Nadia's eyes. She screamed, "No, it's not true. Ryan, haven't you loved me at all in these years?" Ryan seemed determined to confess his feelings to me and also draw a clear line with Nadia completely. "Yes, that's right. I've never loved you, Nadia. I've always just regarded you as my sister. The woman I love and the only woman I'll ever love in my life is Dana." This belated affectionate confession was something that even a dog wouldn't want. But it snapped Nadia's last nerve. She rushed towards Ryan like a mad dog, shouting, "Ryan, it's not like this. You must love me. It's all that bitch Dana's fault. Without her, things wouldn't be like this between us. I'll kill her." For once, Ryan showed a bit of humanity. In order not to let Nadia hurt me, he deliberately pushed me far away. When I turned around and looked back, I saw that Nadia was standing right on the edge of the cliff, and she was clutching Ryan tightly. "Ryan, please be with me." In the cold wind, Nadia was still struggling for love. Ryan was so annoyed that he wanted to push her away, but with this push, it was a bottomless cliff. When Nadia fell, she was still holding on to Ryan. So, Ryan fell with her. It all happened in an instant. There wasn't even an echo. I pulled my coat tighter around me and leaned over to look towards the edge of the cliff. I only felt the wind blowing up from the bottom of the cliff. "Baby, is that you? Did you see? The bad guys are all dead." The search and rescue team searched for 2 days and 2 nights at the bottom of the cliff before they found Nadia and Ryan. However, Nadia was dead. Ryan was still breathing and was sent to the intensive care unit. When he came out, he was diagnosed as a vegetative state. It was a bit too easy on him. Both the president of the Ryan group and the daughter of the Nadia family had an accident, so the cause definitely had to be investigated. Many people suspected that it was me, the legal wife, who was behind it. When the public opinion reached its peak, a surveillance video was leaked online. Nadia and Ryan fell accidentally during their argument, and it had nothing to do with me, the legal wife. After that, various scandals about Nadia and Ryan came out one after another, causing the stock prices of the Nadia family and the Ryan family to plummet. Many people began to sympathize with me, the legal wife, and they all asked me to start a live stream to talk about the hardships of being a wealthy lady. They said it didn't matter even if I did some live streaming sales. What a joke. I haven't divorced Ryan yet, and the huge Ryan family is still waiting for me to manage. Where would I have the time to do live streaming sales? I didn't cancel the wedding that Ryan had prepared. Instead, I held it as scheduled. After all, the people who showed up were all wealthy and noble. They were all connections, but it was no longer a wedding. It was my personal promotion and salary increase banquet. From now on, all the roads I'll take will be smooth.